Hey guys, so I have another review for you today, and this one is on Shades of Grey by Jasper Fforde. It was originally published on December 29, 2009 by Viking Adult. I don't actually have the physical copy as I read it on my Kindle, but here are the UK and the US covers, and they're both really awesome and definitely reflect the book, I think. Shades of Grey is set very far in the future, making it dystopian, and it is essentially a world that is only shades of grey. Shocker, I know. But this essentially means that everything, including, you know, the sky, the grass, the water, everything, is colored by artificial means. And the class structure is essentially developed around how much of a certain color you can see. What shades, what tones, things like that. The story follows Edward Russet, or Eddie Russet, or Ed Russet, and he's just a follower of the rules. He believes very strongly in the rules, and he's never questioned the government in any way, and he doesn't realize that there's more to it. He's not really interested in knowing the past. While he does like asking questions, he doesn't really care why the world is the way it is, and he doesn't question too much about it, except for the occasional queuing system. That is until he witnesses a certain incident and meets one Jane, who teaches him a lot about the world and what is wrong with it. So basically, typical dystopian, character doesn't realize how much is wrong with the government and the world, and then they are brought to knowledge, they are given the knowledge and see that there is more to it. What is very unique about this, however, is the amount of background knowledge we are given. There is a lot of world building in this novel. The interesting thing about dystopia is that you definitely run the risk of either lingering too long on world building or going through it too quickly and the reader not really knowing what's going on or why the world is the way it is. I think Jasper Fforde kind of fell into one of the pitfalls, and that is that about 80% of this novel was exposition. It was very interesting exposition. I think that the mythology and the color system and the status system, the caste system, I suppose, it's all very fascinating. But I really don't think it needed to be so much of the book. May it also be noted that this entire book takes place in 4 days, so you're kind of given a lot of excess detail on those 4 days. As for the characters, I usually like a character that is either really similar to me or very different than me, and because I think that's more interesting, you can either relate or you can't relate, and you're constantly shocked and surprised by this amazing character. Eddie just kind of infuriated me. The way he didn't question certain things, and the questions he did ask were not the questions I wanted him to ask, and I don't know, I just found him a really frustrating character to be narrated through this story with. That was a really convoluted way of saying that, but you guys get what I mean. I really like Jane. I don't understand some of her choices either, but I think that we'll get more of that in the next book. I think she's pretty badass. I think she's a great character. She definitely counters Eddie in a lot of ways, which I needed, though I wish she would have come in sooner, I guess. The writing was very satirical, very funny, very humorous, definitely has a nice British humor to it, but yeah, I just had a lot of problems with the exposition. I wish he had taken his brilliant writing and condensed the story a bit. So let's talk about what worked and didn't work. What worked, the mythology, the ending, the last about 10% of the book was fantastic. I was hooked and I was very excited for more, and I really liked it. Also, the humor worked really well. What didn't work was that most of the book was exposition. It was so slow. I usually don't have too much of a problem with slow books, but this one was definitely very slow. I also, as I mentioned, wasn't a huge fan of the voice we were given. Overall, I would give it a 3.5 out of 5. I'm very excited for the sequel. I think if I were to recommend this book, I would tell you to wait for the sequel. I'm not sure when it's coming out because, I mean, this one was released 2009 and it's 2012 now, so I'm not sure when the sequel will be released, but I definitely think you should wait it out because, or if you do want to read it, just power through till the end because it is worth it at the end, I think. But yeah, it was definitely hard to get me through it. A lot of you are probably going to tell me about the Thursday Next series, and I have heard of the Thursday Next series. I actually read The Air Affair years ago and had no idea it was a series and didn't realize it was the same author till recently. So yes, I think I probably will read more Jasper Fforde in the future. Let me know if you've read this book or if you're interested in reading it or what your thoughts on it were or anything like that, and I'll see you guys next time.